watching the 4th episode of Port7. I'm your host Nate, and we've been netcasting for a year now. Last April I released a pilot episode, the Easter egg. Well, it's Easter time again, and got a new special episode for you. Today I have a mod. Going to be talking about Fanbus. Going to build one and show you the basics of electronics for building Fanbus. And also I got a Linux guide. Wanted to do that in the last episode, but just missed out and never got around to releasing that. And I also got a networking guide. I wanted the hosts Fox of BSOD and Nick at TechCentric to help me with this, but my net died about a week and a half ago, and I'm not going to force myself to go to dial-up, so I'm going to have to go war driving to release this episode. So, it will, and hopefully get released today on the 7th. Well, enough chat. Here's the show. Today's mod, we're going to play with electronics. And by electronics, computer electronics that is. Well, if you have fans in your case, lights, and other various devices that you want control of, instead of reaching around for that proprietary switch, sometimes inside the case, well, and also using more than one Molex connector on your power supply, limiting you down to so many devices, well, we're going to solve that situation and build a fan bus. A fan bus, you may ask? Well, it runs off one power connector, and you plug all your devices within your case into that. Well, what makes it awesome other than you control your devices? Well, with your fan control, you have option to switch different voltages, which makes it really nice. For the switches, today I'm going to be using the rheostat, a center off, and just a standard on-off switch. Or, in technical terms, we have dual throw, dual post, and single throw, dual post, and a rheostat, which is basically a variable resistor. Being the resistance is adjusted by how much you turn it. So, I'll have more technical details on these switches in the show notes. You want to start by laying out where your switches will be. So take your big straight edge, ruler, yardstick, and pretty much center them off. And give yourself a nice layout. It's not the straightest line, but it's going to work for now. Now, you want to take into accommodation for how big your switches are, being the rheostat has the excess for the post here off the terminal post here on the side. You want to leave room for the side of the case and make sure you have enough spacing so you're not crossing terminals when you go to when you wire up each one. So mark out appropriate locations, and each terminal is about just roughly a ½ inch big, so I'm just going to quickly wing this here. Pretty much just lay it all out as you go. It's going to be crappy, but it's going to do its job for today. So just lay it out how you want. And then you go through, and if you have a drill press, that'll work best. Lock this in and pilot drill it and then punch through it. Now, I already have a pre-assembled one, which actually is a bit more complex. I gutted out the entire center here and installed plexiglass. So it doesn't help when you go to, if you want to put the bay here at the end, you have to put your project box somewhere else off inside the case or directly wire to each terminal. I'm getting people online asking, what's for lunch today? Now for the rheostats, they got a nice little nub. And this ain't going to focus at the moment, too much light glare. But there's a nice notch right here to hold it in place so it doesn't twist. You want to Dremel out or put a little notch there so when you put it in place, fits nice. And when you drill out the holes, you want to make them a bit small so you're not oversight. They don't just fall right through and you have something to screw down to. Just run your nuts right on there. I take a pair of needle nose, give it a twist, and there you go. In this step, I took my rotary tool and cut a nice slit right in the side here to fit the connectors. There we go. Fit the terminals down into the project box. Now most project boxes will be a smooth flush surface, so you won't have to edge out any of this, but you fit them straight down in there. You have them sticking right out through the other side. If you want, go ahead and screw through each of the corners, or actually most designs for Fanbus, it's sitting up against the bay. So, and being this is the size of the bay, you're not going to be mounting it to the side. You're going to be mounting it to the back side, which the stereo terminals itself are actually just big enough to fit, but you may want to trim them off for clearance, and depending on your project box, decide how you want to mount them that way. Now for the project box I'm building today, I'm just going to mount it to the top like so, and then wire it up through the back. I'm not going to go through the exact schematics on how to wire this. There's a ton of templates on the web. Go to fanbus.com or just Google search it. You'll find it. But here basically is my design. I got the 4 switches, a rheostat here on the end, and the two center offs, and a standard single post, single throw. Now my bay here, I used Cat 5 to wire. Now if you're just powering fans, it should be okay grade of wire. It's not recommended. You should be using something a bit thicker. And if you cause harm to your system, I didn't recommend this. This is just what I used. I have 24 gauge wire going to the Molex connector I soldered in. And show that off in a minute. But basically I stripped out an old Molex connector and cleaned off the connectors and soldered on the wires and wired it into my my power bus here. Now show that this works. Get the center off for each of these ports. Go to a different spring connection here on the power bus. The rheostat is powered by the first center off switch. Being the rheostat, you can adjust all the way down to 0, so I wanted an option to shut it off if I want. So I got the options of 5 volts or 12 volts to idle up and down. Now when you wire center off switches, When you flip them up, that's the bottom post on the back side of it. It's not the top side. It gets confusing when wiring. Now, to test your fan bus, I recommend using an older AT power supply, just plugging it all in and making sure it works. In case you have a short and you don't want to short out your expensive power supply you have in your case. And if you have a multimeter, I recommend picking one up. If you don't, and just checking each connection for shorts and making sure that you get full connection through there. You got your common ground in the center, your 5 volts, and your 12 volts. Just watch which way you wire it when you connect it. You got the beveled edges here on each corner. So when you go to line it up with your Molex connector for your power supply. You could also wire it up a different way if you like, but this I find is the most convenient and easiest way to do so. Just snap it right on your power supply and you're ready to go. Well, I hope you enjoyed that fan bus I built. And it was kind of actually quick and short, but you can check out more info at fanbus.com. It's Cliff's Fan Bus Guide. And just do a few more searches on Google. You'll find out some more info. I'm not here to tell you every detail. I just want to get you into it. Well, one thing I didn't mention in that segment is the 7-volt trick. Now, I've heard many people say it's doable, and a lot of people say don't do it. Possibly with older systems, you can blow up that line, fry some electronics, and well, that'd be bad. So, but basically what you do is you hook up the 12-volt positive line, and you hook up the 5-volt positive line. And you run them together. It makes the difference. It grounds out to 7 volts. I don't condone doing this. I have done it before. It works. But if you fry your system, screw up something over it, don't come bitching to me. Well, let's get on with the next segment. Well, here's some Linux. The who command displays information about the system or specific user. The who command lists the names of users currently logged into a system. Interesting. Oh, hey, I didn't see you come in there. Alright, today's Linux tip, we're going to talk about the command du. Now, what makes du so special? Well, if you're a Linux administrator and you get users abusing their rights on their quota, or you're just running out of disk space and you don't know where it's going, oh, this tip, it's just for you. We want to start by looking into the manual for this. So you start by typing man du. You get a big description here, a whole 4-word description. Du, it's estimate file space usage. Very simple. It's a rather simple command. There's quite a few options to it. You got -a, -k, blah blah blah. Just go through the manual, read it, figure out everything there is. I'm not going to tell you exactly how to use it. I'm just telling you it's a pretty awesome command. Blah blah blah. Now, you can now if you're a system administrator, you can take this
And you want to type -H for human readable. Now, you want to know everything that someone has on your system. Now, let's just scan the root directory, and we'll just leave it at that for now. I'll show you everything that's in, how much space is taken up in each of the directories. I mean, bin's got 8 megs, dev's got 2.7, etc., etc. Ops got 144. That probably can be shrunk down quite a bit. But as you can see, it seems like it's scanning the home directory, which I know is 18 gigs in there, so it's going to be a while long if it's going over a wireless connection currently, so I'll just kill that. Now, we can make this output to a folder. So, and if you add this to your cron tab, you can make this output daily. We'll just make that for now. And you could have it auto do this every day, every week, give you a log of what everything is. And you just go through cat, and you get a list of everything that's in this folder. Oops. That's basically it for now. Mess around with it, play around, figure out what to do.
As I showed you in that screen cap there, the DU command, there's a lot of options. Now, my favorite being the max step, being you're able to list, you just go through your root directory there and quickly list how much space is taken up in each folder. Now a nice site to learn more about Linux commands I found while running a Google search the other day was linuxcommand.org. I'll have the link right here. So, check it out. Until then, pick up a nice guide on Linux. Nice how-to book. Just pick up go to your local bookstore. A larger bookstore, probably like Walden's or something. Go to their computer section. Look into their Linux system commands. It'll help you out in the long run. Like, it's got examples for unzip. Let's see, another interesting one. This one's a bit out of date. It's got some older commands that I don't find used, at least in Gen 2. O-clock. The O-clock command launches a round analog clock. Okay, so this is a GUI application, X Windows. So, well, that's it for today's Linux tip. Alright, we got a networking segment here for you. I got about 3 topics to talk about. Well, let's start with a request I had a while back. Cat7 cabling. I believe it's been ratified since I got the request, or at least somewhat finalized. I know it's not shipped yet, or at least every result that I've had for searches hasn't come up with any yet. Now, let's talk a little bit about it. I don't want to get into much detail. You can, I'll have a little more info in the show notes, or at least where to look, find more info online. But basically, Cat7, it's shielded. Each of the 4 pairs is shielded. So, what is this? Why is this so special? It lets you run 4 devices over each cable. Well, not over each cable, but each pair you can run a device. So, well, yeah, so the entire cable line here, you can run 4 devices, being audio, home security, and phone, and Ethernet. It's really nice. Now, the real advantage of Cat7, this applies mainly to big corporations and telecommunications. It runs 10 gigabyte. It runs a 10 gigabit network. That's really nice if you need the bandwidth for like video on demand and other various huge file transfer needs. Alright, I'm getting bored with the cabling. Let's move on. I got a better segment here. Okay, I'm going to talk about routers. Here we got the Linksys WRT. It runs a GNU license, so You can put any firmware you want Linux based on it. Now, that makes it special by what makes it related with the other router I have here is you can run DDWRT. It's a firmware that's been popular for the past year or so. It keeps gaining popularity, and I run it on every Linksys that I install. It gives you a lot of configuration. Now, let's put the Linksys aside. I don't want to get into a full-blown segment on installing and running DDWRT. Now, what's really sparked the eyes of hackers and just hobbyists around the world is the FONRA router. You can get it at fon.com, F-O-N. If you pay for it on their site, it's about $40. Now, what's really nice about the FON right now is they're trying to get these out and enlarge their network. Now, I should probably tell you a little bit about FONRA before I go into specs and what it can do. Well, the FON, what they're trying to do is create a huge open wireless network. And if you want to check it out on their site, they got a huge map of where they got them currently. They're spread out pretty well across the U.S. But what they're trying to do is, as I said, create a big wireless network. And if you own a FONRA router, you have free access to that router when you go to one that's listed on the map. Now, you don't have to have a FONRA router to install one of these. You can get the iPackage and install it on your Linksys here, or any other open sourced router. But basically, the FONRA, if you don't own a FONRA, it's $2 for a day pass. That's not bad compared to going to Starbucks and paying $10. And I think you're only limited. You're probably limited to all Starbucks, but it's $10 a day versus $2. And if you own a FONRA, you got free access. But the only cutback to owning and using a FONRA is you're sharing your own home network. So basically, you're getting what you give out. There's better wording for that, but you're giving what you receive. So you share your wireless 24/7, and everyone else around the nation shares theirs. You have access to free Wi-Fi, and when you go on vacation, you need to check your email. You'd want to do this prior, but get on their site and find it. Or what they send out with the FONRAs, they have a hotspot ID that they put out. You won't be able to see it in the sticker, but it's a window Klingon. It says FON, and it's got the big FON logo, the star, and all that. Maybe in this one right here. I'll zoom in on that in a second. They give you a nice package of stuff when they send it. A big guide, instructions what it can do. Has WPA, supports a bunch of web encryption, runs DHCP out of the box. But what also makes this nice is it gives you two networks actually. One's the public LAN that everyone that visits connects to, and there's your access for your home private network. So it's not just a public only router. You can use it as a home router. Now, the only exception that they request is if you're not using this to share, or you don't have it hooked up to share, they want you to pass it on to someone else. Keep the network large and keep it going. It's a really nice idea. Alright, that was a great show we released today. We had fun with the networking there, after I got past the cabling at least. I know it was a bit boring, a little bit. I don't know much actually about Cat 7, as you can tell in that segment. So do a little bit more Google searching and you'll find out just about as much as I do. Maybe even a little more. Hopefully at least. Alright, well, Yeah, and that Finera, however the hell you pronounce it, Fonera. Those are pretty sweet. I haven't put mine to use yet. As I stated earlier in the show, I don't have net access. So, people connecting to it probably get pissed. So, I'm going to hold off on that until I get better internet. Hopefully shortly. And on that Linux guide, DU is one of the best apps I've used. Well, especially in running command line interface. Alright, now to close out this show, got email addresses. You can send me an email. Shoot me at nate@dh5tv.org. You can hop on AOL Messenger and contact me at natedh5. Well, that's when my internet starts working at least. Maybe you'll catch me soon. Well, if you want to contact me on Skype, Nate_LapT, LAPT. I'll have it down here. I'm on Skype always. And let's see, what else do I got here? That's about it for the show. So stay tuned for the next episode. Port7 is a production of DH5's TV.